Have you ever dreamed of having the golden bullet active at all times and not just during a global event? Well, it looks like our dream came true during this season with Rogue Momentum. Now, if you guys haven't played this season, highly recommend diving into it because the modifiers become stronger and stronger as you progress through your journey. I'm currently almost on journey mission 6, but I've already unlocked one of my favorite modifiers from testing during the PTS and 3 pretty good passive talent modifiers that I have currently on, and I'll show you in a second. But overall, I am having a blast with this season. If you like running and gunning, if you like running skill builds, this modifier will work for either because that's the way Rogue Momentum works. Now, Rogue Momentum is all about quick kills, chaining kills together, getting kills, multi-kills, headshot kills, skill kills, tactical skills will constantly build your momentum. And as you increase that gauge, you'll gain more weapon and skill damage, more movement speed, more reload speed, and more rate of fire. And when you're at max stacks, you even can get into overdrive, which will make your skills hit even harder. As you noticed, I went from 0 to 100 instantly, and that is because of an active modifier I have called overdrive. It lasts for 10 seconds and gives you 30% weapon damage, 30% skill damage, 30% rate of fire, unlimited ammo supply for 10 seconds. But what's great about this is even when it goes away, it's pretty easy to maintain full stacks to keep Unstoppable active. As you guys can see here, it's been more than 10 seconds and I'm almost keeping my bar fully red. And what that does is I still have 20% weapon damage, I have the reload speed, I have the rate of fire. Now I don't have that overdrive that stopped being active, but I'm able to still maintain it, which is so good. It's so easy to maintain once you pop the active modifier. Then you just have to maintain it with either getting kills, multi-kills, skill kills, however you guys want to do it. Maintain the stack. Doesn't seem hard to do. And I've been actually enjoying running it on a striker build, a run and gun striker build. And I'll show you the build breakdown in just a second for any of you guys wondering. But do remember, for part of the journey, you'll have to put on an explosive damage build with Seekers, and then obviously some type of skill build so your skills can get kills. And that's what happens during the journey. It requires you to play a little different to complete each task. But once you get further along, then you can just put on the build you want, like you're seeing here. Now for the passive modifiers I am using critical recovery. Critical hits restore 0.5% of your maximum armor. I really like critical momentum. Critical hits have a 40% chance to grant 1% momentum, and then kills with skills double momentum gain. So that's why I have the striker drone, and that definitely helps increase that momentum gauge so that way you can keep it at max stack. As you've seen, since I activated it at the very beginning of this control point, I've almost been at max stack the whole time, which means I'm getting the max benefit from momentum. And that's really the key to this season, guys. Like I said it again, you want to make sure that you can chain kills together. You want multi-kills, you want headshot kills, you want skill kills. And don't forget about blacklisted enemy and frenzy enemy. Frenzy enemies are gonna have like a full red glow around their body. And then blacklisted enemies are actually gonna have a silhouette over their head. It almost looks like the vigilance symbol, but with a cross through it. And you'll see it right above their head. And targeting those guys will also help the speed of your momentum and how fast it stacks up. So there's a lot of different things you can be out there looking to stack momentum. Obviously, if you've unlocked overdrive, you can stack it instantly. Now, when I see a frenzy enemy, or if I see an enemy, there's a frenzy enemy right in front of me. If I see any of the enemies like blacklisted, I will show you guys those. Frenzy enemies will have that full red glow, and it's very hard to miss because they'll just look a lot different than your regular enemy. So we'll be on the lookout for another one in just a second. There's a blacklisted enemy right there. You see the crosshair, little right crosshair on that purple? That was actually blacklisted. He has a silhouette with the cross through it. See if we see another frenzy enemy. Man, we are absolutely shredding with this build. I'm gonna show you guys the build for everybody who came here and wants to see what I've been using. Oh, this is just absolutely insane. The weapon I'm using is the Lexington. I love it so much, I actually put 27% expertise in it. If you don't have the Lexington, you can even use something like the St. Elmo's. Obviously, with the St. Elmo's, you can't put a talent on there. Something like the St. Elmo's has more in the magazine. I have 57 on my Lexington because of my chest piece, and I'll show you that in a second. Now, we do have assault rifle health damage targets out of cover. And then again, I said you can't put a talent on St. Elmo's, but you could put killer on the Lexington, which gives me an additional 70% crit damage when I kill an enemy with a crit. And I'm sitting at 101% crit damage on this build. So that's 171% crit damage plus 50% crit chance. Now I do have on the scope 5% crit chance, 20 rounds in the magazine, 10% critical hit damage on the underbarrel, and then 5% crit chance. Again, if you don't have this weapon, you could swap it out for maybe something like the Police M4. And for my secondary, I have the Scorpio. Now, quick rundown. I am running a 4-piece striker, so we do have the striker mass, armor, crit damage, crit chance. I do have 2 blue rolls on this build, but my striker pieces are almost all the same. For the holster, weapon damage, critical hit damage. For the knee pads, another striker piece, weapon damage, critical hit damage. And then for the gloves, our 4th and final piece of strikers, weapon damage, critical hit chance. Now, if we head over to the chest piece, you'll notice I am running the Zoo chest piece. You could run something like the Cheska for the extra crit chance, Grupo for the extra crit damage. I picked the Zoo because the extra 15% magazine size on the Lexington helps me out enough that I feel like I'm gaining benefit from it. And since we already hit so hard because we could stack 27% expertise on a weapon, do you really need the extra crit or crit damage? Now we have weapon damage, crit chance, and a crit damage mod on here. So again, you can run whatever chest you want. I really like the Zoo for the extra magazine size, especially in PvE. Now for the talent, I am running Obliterate. Now Obliterate's gonna critical hits increase the total weapon damage by 1%. Now this stacks up to 20, so I could have 20% extra weapon damage on the chest. And the backpack, Momentum, for the weapon damage, armor, skill tier, and we have a critical hit chance mod on there. Obviously, with the build, if I pick up 1 trophy, that's 25% extra weapon damage for 10 seconds, 20% armor, and 5% skill efficiency. Now, once I pick up 30 of them, which is easy to build that stack, I can hold 30% weapon damage for 300 seconds, which will constantly refresh. You pair that up with the short-term buffs of 10 seconds, a lot of damage out of your momentum, especially as a solo player. And a lot of people ask, yo, Skills, do you run momentum on a lot of your builds? Yes, especially since I am more of a solo player. It's a very, very important exotic. And the crazy thing about this is you can run this exotic in group play too, because I've run momentum builds in group play. Just depends on if you're getting those kills, you have enough damage to get those stacks, and then as you build the stacks, you get stronger and stronger and stronger. And if you pair it up with this season, I mean, it's just match made in heaven. Rogue Momentum is so fun. I feel like I'm playing the Golden Bullet. I know a lot of you guys haven't had a chance to unlock the modifiers yet because it is a little bit of a grind. Once you unlock those modifiers, you guys are going to have so much fun, as you guys are seeing right here. Literally just shredding everything. Now remember, I do have 50% crit chance on this build and 171% crit damage with Killer activated. So that's the key thing to remember. Once Killer activates, this thing just shreds. So let me know how you guys are enjoying the modifiers from this season. Do you guys enjoy Rogue Momentum better than our modifiers from last season, which was all about distance? I actually like this up close and personal style build, and the fact that you can run skill builds and make it work too is even better. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one, but until then, hey, nothing but skills out.